Welcome back to Free Tech Tuesday. Today's video is going to be what I consider to be the next very important subject. While we're staying on drone mapping this week, we got to talk about what a lot of new drone pilots trying to want to use drones for mapping need to know that they don't know. I'm going to go really deep and do a deep dive into this. So, you can have the best drone money can buy. You can have the best equipment money can buy. You can have the best processes and knowledge as far as what to do and how to do it with the workflow. But if we cannot validate our data independently to collect the data set that the drone takes, our data is essentially useless unless our client is coming to us saying, it doesn't matter the accuracy. I just need a point cloud as an example. Anything less than that, where they give you, I need to have a project and deliverables within a certain degree of accuracy, you got to do this. We're going to talk about it. What this means is, if a client says, well, I don't need it to be real accurate within a tenth, let's say I need it to be a foot of accuracy. Or I need it to be, say, oh, as long as it's about maybe 5 to 10 feet of accuracy, I'm okay. Remember, the internal consumer grade GPS that's on any drone is going to have an accuracies of up to 20 to 25 feet off. So you've got to take that into account, and where a lot of people are missing the boat. This is where the connection gets lost, is when we talk about the subject of RTK. A lot of people think, I'm going to buy a drone that has an RTK module on it. Therefore, that's all I need. That's not true. You either have to have a base station like this that's referenced correctly connected to it, or you have to have a network correction, which is called NTRIP, going directly to this. So this drone not only has the RTK receiver on it, but it needs an RTK service going to it. That's the first thing many people can't connect the dots with, because RTK is a bit confusing. So the second thing again is that once we collect our data and then we bring it into our software, we need to be able to do validation to be able to determine if the data that we have is within a certain degree of accuracy. So again, what this means is we can take what are called check shots or checkpoints. That would be either targets you lay down on the ground like this, or you can use something on site, such as a corner of a parking stripe, a sewer drain. You can use those as well. But we then go ahead and use this rover right here to take observations independently of our flight data and then bring them into our processing software independently, just as a check. That's why they call them checkpoints. So these checkpoints just are not influencing your data or the processing of the data at all. It's just as a check, a comparison. And that way, you truly have a validation of your data within a certain degree of accuracy. And there is no reason why, if you use RTK and you have the right processes, you can be able to get your data within a tenth of a foot of accuracy. But again, you can't just hand your client the data and a report and says, here you go. And if they say, well, how do you know your data is accurate? You can't just say, trust me. Or you can't simply say, look at the report. Because the report, if it doesn't have checkpoints in there or check shots, there's no possible validation points. And that's not, engineering and surveying methods and workflows don't work that way. Everything is done with a validation. Like I said, the only time that you wouldn't need to do a validation is where the client says, I don't care the accuracy of the data, just get me a point cloud, or just get me a 3D model, or just get me an orthomosaic, and I don't care how accurate it is or how true that representation is. Then, at that point, you don't need any of this. But those are the only ways to do that, and to be honest with you, they're very few and far between for what a client needs. So now you're going to say, okay, so what exactly are you saying that I need for validation? Well, at the very minimum, you have to have a rover like this, and you have to be able to have NTRP connected to it to be able to shoot that. What I prefer to do is to set up a base station like this, get NTRP into it, mark, and then that sets this point right here. Then I don't need NTRP anymore. I only need it to be able to set up the base. Then I have the base connected to my rover, which is the drone for the data set. And then when I come down and land, I connect my base to my rover, and I go ahead and then collect the checkpoints. And then bring that into the actual software. That is the validation point, and that's how we can get true, accurate data, and how we would go about getting that data the right way. So a lot of people are not aware of all this workflow or the validation process when they want to get into drone mapping or understand how RTK truly works. There's a lot of missing targets that a lot of people don't see, because it is complicated. When you're not familiar with any of this, this is heavy duty stuff that we're getting into, and it can be complicated at first. So with that said, if you want to know more about mapping, again, check out the video I just made last week on is drone mapping legal? And also, if you want, take a look at our online courses. We have 3 different online drone mapping courses for every level that you may want to get into this. And also we have in-person, on-site drone mapping here once a month at our facility. Now, for next week, please let us know what you want. Tell us what type of topics and questions that you have that you may want us to cover and talk about, and we'll take a look at it and see if we can get it in. So until next week, thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.